And there are people who want to wear their mask, get vaccinated. There are people who don't. But then there's a gray area. And I feel that in the Black community, I know I have family members who are still just uncertain about the vaccine. And now with the Delta variant on the rampage and on the rise, they're reconsidering should they get the vaccine or not. But with a lot of misinformation, they're still they still are undecided. What could you say to people who are in that gray area, who are Black and brown, who are in those higher rates of potentially, people who are much more prone to diseases and so forth?
Yeah, and that's what exactly it, right? We are a much more prone community. The Black and brown community has been disproportionately impacted by this pandemic, and we will continue to be disproportionately impacted by this pandemic. I wholeheartedly understand. I get it as a Black woman, as a person in a Black woman's body who has had to engage with the healthcare system. I understand the history. I'm well aware of it. I understand the fear and the concerns that we as a people have, and those concerns are historic but legitimate. But the reality is that we are in a situation where the things that occurred during the Tuskegee experiment, or what happened to Henrietta Lacks, and all of the other common references that we use to refuse or dispute getting a vaccination, those things would not happen today. We have to stop thinking of ourselves as, guinea pigs. We have to stop thinking of the vaccination as being experimental. The people who were experimented on, they volunteered, right? And there were tens of thousands of people who volunteered for the greater good of society to be able to benefit from their personal sacrifice, from all of this research, all of these healthcare dollars, all of these federal dollars that were spent worldwide to ensure that we had a vaccine that was safe and effective to help prevent the spread and prevent people from being hospitalized and dying from this virus. So the vaccine has been well tested and well studied, and we're continuing to look at what are complications of the vaccines that might not have been predicted or might not have been picked up on during the original clinical trials. And so the fact that they are continuing to investigate, they're continuing to look, they're continuing to watch, and they're being so transparent, for me, is very reassuring. So when I'm talking to my Black and brown and Indigenous brothers and sisters who died at rates that were much higher than our white counterparts, I say to us, listen, do you really trust a healthcare system that has continued to give us disparate healthcare, has continued to give us disparate outcomes? You trust that same healthcare system to save you when you get infected with COVID? Do you trust a healthcare system where in communities that are full of people that look like you and I and our brown and Indigenous people, our brothers and sisters, where our hospitals tend to be grossly underfunded and understaffed and don't have access to research and experimental treatments, I don't trust going into that setting. I feel more comfortable and more confident in the fact that I'm fully vaccinated, and that if I choose to, I'm also a candidate to get a booster dose of this vaccine rather than take my chances with COVID-19. What will that virus do to me, and what will happen to me in a Black woman's body inside of a hospital in this country? I feel much more comfortable getting a vaccine than I do getting COVID-19. And I think, because we've been more disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and because we will be more disproportionately impacted by this whole anti-vax vaccine hesitancy movement, we really have to sit down and consider what's at stake. And as you said, we are a population in general that has far more stressors, far more comorbid conditions, is more likely to have the things that put us at high risk to be hospitalized and to die from COVID-19. So if I'm already at increased risk for the worst case scenario of this virus, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm then hospitalized and I'm having to fight for my life, having to advocate, having to beg and plead to get the same treatment as my white counterparts. I'm going to do everything that I can to prevent this infection. And for me, that's vaccination. For me, that's wearing my mask. I never took my mask off, even when the mandates went away for vaccinated people. And I continue to avoid crowds. I don't eat inside of restaurants. I really try to do everything as safely as I can to just mitigate the risk of getting this infection.
Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Ceek.com, we are partnering with them, of course. We appreciate their support right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Check out a couple of their products that you can take advantage of.
And you're watching us on Ceek.
What's going on in this Quavo Huncho? But right now you in the Huncho's world. Please let the music play.
Enjoy the Ceek.com video by using one of their virtual reality headsets. All you do is just pop your phone right here into the VR headset and enjoy the content. You can also take advantage of their 360-degree headphones. These headphones here come in a couple of colors, black and gold, but then also all gold. And so you can check these out. If you want to use our promo code to get a discount, it's RMVIP21, RMVIP21. Then, of course, a portion of the proceeds comes back to Roland Martin Unfiltered, which allows for us to fund the show. And so this is a black-owned company, and we certainly believe in supporting black-owned companies. Mary Spiel is the founder. And so, again, go to Ceek.com and use the promo code RMVIP21.